Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Thursday, June 23rd. We're going to start off today with the SMH, and simple reason is this was the star of today's trading session. You know all the excuses that were out there, why we sold off big, and why we rallied back big, but really the story was the SMH. Long before any of that grease crap came back into play, we had a big-time reversal on the SMH this morning. We noted in the chat room, the Dow was down 200 plus points, and we saw the SMH continue to build steam on volume. And then we had a nice little breakthrough and gave us a mini pop in the market. We then sold off again, and then the news of Greece coming to a 5-year deal with the EU finally set the market and the SMH on a move to its highs. But looking at the SMH, it looks like a great bottom on the SMH, at least for the near term. Granted, we've called and seen more bottoms in this market over the last 7 weeks than you would see at a spanking convention. Just, it's getting ridiculous, these huge up and down moves each and every day. But today, the techs led, and when the tech stocks lead, we pay attention. Even though we had the market still down big, we had the four horsemen, three of the four horsemen up big today. We had Apple, Netflix, Amazon. Google was red on the day, but that was on news of the SEC or FCC increasing their investigation against them. But strong strength in the SMH and in the large cap techs. And, going into tomorrow's session and into next week looks positive. What's funny is, that big rally we had late in the day came on news that, of course, Greece came out with a deal with the EU. But if you go back and you look at the headlines from exactly a year ago, it's almost like we jumped into a time machine and went back in time. The reason for the sell-off over the last 2 months, exactly the same. Greece, European issues, blah, blah, blah. The reasons for the bottom, almost this time as well last year. The rally last year really picked up steam after the July 4th weekend. Here we've got a possible Greek deal and a possible bottom in the market. So if you weren't with us last July, July was a fantastic month last year after an abysmal May and June. So here's to history repeating itself again. SMH, resistance 20-day exponential, 33.64. Then we've got the downtrend resistance at 34, and then a possible target on this bounce, 35. Very possible next week. Dow 15-minute chart, not really what we want to look at. Daily chart also doesn't look as good as it actually is. We had a big volume bounce back. SMH was able to close green. NASDAQ was able to close green. S&P and Dow were unable to, but there was some heavy buying into both of these indices. So, it's looking decent here going into the month of July. Russell, very, very strong as well today. So we've got two key components of the market strong again. Small caps, as we can see in the Russell, and the SMH. The only weak thing or only iffy thing on the market is the banks. If we start to see the banks start to move, we've got our trifecta, and we could be in store for a really decent run in the market over the next couple of weeks. Target on the Russell would be that 5% higher at the 50-day moving average. Remember, we've got the Russell rebalance over the next couple of days, so it's going to get crazy for additions and deletions. Typically, we see some very nice bounce backs in the week after on stocks that have been removed from the Russell. We don't need to go into the dollar. Dollar was up big today, but that's looking to reverse course on that Greece news. We had oil down big because of the IEA saying they're going to release $60 million or 60 million barrels of oil. Folks, supply is not an issue. There is more oil than there ever has been. It's speculation, and, the movements in the dollar. Dollar goes down, oil goes up, plain and simple. Let's jump into some stock plays. We don't have a whole lot, but the pop scan I sent out today, definitely check it out. There are some very nice setups in that pop scan going into tomorrow. FCEL continues its very nice trading range from 142 to 147. We're still waiting for that breakout at $1.50, and we're looking at a positive MACD cross. So on a rally on the market tomorrow, we're down 100 plus points today. hey, we're probably going to be up 100 points tomorrow, and all of these stocks are going to bounce back. Sirius, very, very nice recovery on Sirius today. A re-break through 205 tomorrow, and we could see that move we're looking for back up to that 220 plus area. We are also looking at a positive MACD cross on Sirius tomorrow, and we've got Stochastics about ready to break the 50 level. Interesting thing, we are seeing a lot of positive MACD crosses on a lot of stocks with Stochastics in the basement. There are so many beaten up stocks out there. It's just a matter of being very, very patient here because there's going to be some very, very nice gainers very soon. MOVE woke up nicely on that market rebound today. Remember, we've got that IPO of HomeAway next week. Breakout on this is 220. You know, this is a stock that if it traded at the same valuation as its peers, it would be trading at 12 bucks. Let's just put it at that. You know, I'm going to go over a couple of interesting pop scan plays. Here we have CYCC, 131 break, could set it free. Again, positive MACD cross. We're seeing a lot of this. You know, and the last time we saw this many positive MACD cross on a market sell-off was mid-April before we had that nice big move up. And, you know, we had a 1 week window where there was just stocks popping left and right. We've got that same scenario developing here again. Break target on this one, you could get 5 to 12 cents, which would be an ideal scalp target on this one. BWEN, this had a big move early today, then gave it all back. But, you know, this 2-candle move and this trailing candle, you know, this is a stock that when volume comes into it, as you can see, again, back in mid-April when we had that last big market rally, you know, it kept running for days. So definitely one, if traders are in a buying mode tomorrow, that could give you 5 to 10 cents easy on the upside with really, really tight stops, you know, a couple of cents below today's close. SYNM looks interesting, a break of 195. You know, you could wait for that 205 break, but this had a nice little up move today. I'm not sure if this one's on the Russell rebounds list, so you'd have to check. But just this little flag breakout today on decent volume on a bad market day. I'd be surprised if we didn't see some upside and, you know, a 5 to 10% move. Very possible over the next couple of days here. SATC tried to break late in the day, popped, gave it all back, stopped guys out. Looks like it might want to go again. Has a very large float. But, you know, this is about as beaten down as you see a stock. Had a positive MACD cross today. Looks like it has its eyes on a test of its 20-day. And as you can see, this is a stock that after significant sell-offs always manages a bounce back to its 20-day. So, you know, you're looking at 10 cents upside. Very possible on this one tomorrow with, you know, if you were to jump in, where did this one close today? We closed today at 213. You know, you could be looking at a 210 stop on this one for a 10-cent possible scalp in the morning. Low floaters, you know, appear to be the rage again today. SCON, a break of 230. Could see a very nice move if it's a company with volume up to that 50-day moving average at 261. Also note, positive MACD cross. Pretty common theme in a lot of these beaten down plays. Really big intraday move today. Ordinarily, I wouldn't want to look at stocks with such big, you know, open-ended candles, but given what the market did today, especially if it gets followed through to the upside on volume, you could be looking at a nice little scalp on this one. BPAX has been coiling between its 50 and 20-day exponential. Keeps trying to break out. You know, it's bound to have a big up move really, really soon, I think, and then this is the kind of chart that could have a multi-day move back up to its previous highs. So definitely one to keep on the radar. Another one that looks interesting going into tomorrow, PWAV. Breakthrough yesterday's high, I believe it was, 305. Could give a bounce back to that 20-day exponential at 318. SOL is another one that really could keep or see a quick bounce back to that 20-day exponential. These two candles here today look really interesting. And, you know, again, especially on a positive market, this one had really big volume yesterday. The volume continued again today on a bad market. Could be in store for a nice little spike over the next couple of days. Last but not least, I got to mention Moby. got attacked and hammered with all that fraud China crap going around lately. But as you can see, this one's starting to pick up some steam. Low floater, high short interest on this one. And they continue to try and jam these China plays. And this is one, if it broke 8, could see a really quick move to that $9 to $10 area. So that's it. There are some other really nice setups on the pop scam play. Keeping our targets low and small just for now. We want to see this market. We've been caught off guard quite a few times recently on these bottoms that look like they're in, and then some crappy news comes out and everything gets given back. If we follow the game plan from last summer, we should be in store for a really, really nice July. So a little bit of patience right now, guys. Continue to have an emphasis on day trading, taking as few plays home as possible. And then once we start to get some of these plays really rocking and rolling, and there are a lot of nice charts out there, we can look to moving from a half position stance to full position and then looking to swing a little bit more. So that's it for the video. See you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.